What I've learned in my short life is that many of us, especially myself at one point in time, many of us would never ever get to where we want to be in life because we don't like how we have to travel to get there. For instance, if you wanted to go to Atlanta, Georgia, or if you wanted to go to the nearest state, wherever you live, and the only way to get there was this road, and it was bumping, and it had potholes in it, and it had bumps in it, it had speed bumps, it had detours or whatever, and you knew how bad the road was, and you knew that there was a possibility that your vehicle would tear up, you would not take that trip, all because you are afraid of the road to get where you want to be. You know that where you want to be is a good place. Where you want to be is a perfect place. Where you want to be is an exciting place. It's going to make you a lot happier, but you don't want to do what it takes to get there because you know that road is terrible. That's the way life is. Many of us miss out on what's on the other side because we don't like the road that we have to travel to get there. But I'm telling you something. If you want to be in the place you want to be in life, you better stop looking at the road you have to travel. Stop looking at the pitfalls. Stop looking at the speed bumps. Stop looking at the potholes. Stop looking at the obstacles that you have to face and giving up. And realize that the only way to get to where you want to be is to travel down that road. That's a part of the process. When I think about that, I think about Joseph. And we look at Joseph's life and how Joseph became prominent and prosperous, and he became a leader over of Egypt. And his brothers, they had to come down and get food from him, and because of a famine, and they reunited, and he eventually brought all of his family down there. And Joseph was prominent. But you know, he wasn't always prominent. Do you know how Joseph got to where he was? Go all the way back to when his dad had made him his first coat of many colors. And his brothers looked at that coat and they got jealous, and then he told his brothers about his dream and he got jealous, and they got so mad they wanted to kill him. They changed their mind about killing him, and so they threw him in a hole. And instead of leaving him in the hole, they took him out and sold him to merchants who were going down to Egypt. Now he's taken away from his home. He's been stabbed in the back by his brothers. They wanted to kill him. His own blood wanted to kill him. He's been stabbed in the back by them. He's been thrown in a hole by them. He's been sold by them. His flesh and blood. You don't tell me that boy did not have some many nights where he cried his heart out because the very people he loved turned their backs on him. And he gets in Egypt, does what he's supposed to do, gets promoted. And then this woman turns around and lies on him and says that he tried to have sexual relationship with her when he didn't. She lied on him and he went to prison. Boy, it can't get any more worse than this. And while he was in prison, he held on to faith in God. Eventually he got out of prison and he rose to prominence once again. When you look back at Joseph's life and see everything that he went through, there were potholes, there were pitfalls, there were obstacles, there were speed bumps, there were brick walls that he ran into. But you know what? He did not give up because that was part of the process. That was the road that he had to take. Everything that Joseph went through in his life put him in a place. And let me show you what that place was. In Exodus chapter 50, beginning with verse number 18. It says, Then his brothers also went and fell down before his face, and they said, Behold, we are your servants. And Joseph said to them, Do not be afraid, for I am in the place of God. But as for you, you meant it for evil against me, but God meant it for the good in order to bring it about as it is this day to save many people. Joseph said, you don't have to be afraid of me. I'm in the place God wants me to be. You meant it for my evil. Everything that happened to me, you brought it on. You meant it for my evil. Everything I went through in my life, you brought it on. It was lies. It was distortion. You were stabbing me in the back, and you meant it for my downfall, but God meant it to lift me up. You meant it for my bad. He meant it for my good. You meant it for my defeat, but he meant it for my victory. I am in the place of God. And though the process was difficult, I made it. I'm telling you all, don't fight the process. Don't fight the road. If you want to be in the place of God, travel the road. God will be with you. God will be there for you. God will protect you. But you got to travel the road to get to the place that God wants you to be. Peace out.